Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. We start today's video with a story straight from the front lines of retail, where common sense sometimes takes a holiday, and it's the staff who are left to pick up the pieces. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with a turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Customer storms the self-serve, insists coins aren't cash. I've worked at an Australian grocery store for 9 years now, and let me tell you, in that time I've seen my fair share of strange customers and odd encounters, but every now and then someone comes along who really makes you stop and wonder how they've made it this far in life without some basic common sense. The other day I was working the self-serve area, helping customers get through as smoothly as possible. It was a busy day, the kind where people seem to come out of the woodwork and tensions run just a little higher. To make matters a bit trickier, some of the self-serve machines were playing up. We were running low on cash reserves on a few of them, so those machines were set to card only to avoid the headache of people not getting the right change. No big deal. I had a system going. As people lined up at the start of the self-serve area, I'd ask each one, "Are you paying by cash or card today?" That way I could direct them to the right machine and keep things moving without people standing there getting frustrated when a machine wouldn't take their money. For the most part, it worked great. People were patient and understanding. That is, until this particular customer showed up. He came storming past the entire queue like he was charging into a wrestling ring. Big bloke, looked like he was ready to suplex the next person who dared get in his way. Without so much as glancing at the line of people patiently waiting, he barged straight to the self-serve area, only to realize, surprise, surprise, that all the machines were full. Trying to keep things civil, I approached him and said, "Mate, you'll need to join the queue. There are people waiting." He scowled but didn't argue much, just muttered something under his breath about how ridiculous it was and stomped back to the start of the line. Fine, I thought. Maybe that's the end of it. When it was finally his turn, I greeted him like I do with everyone. "Are you paying by cash or card today?" I asked, ready to point him toward the right machine. What came out of his mouth next caught me completely off guard. "Neither," he snapped at me, like I'd asked the dumbest question in the world. I blinked. "I'm sorry," I replied, thinking maybe I'd misheard him. "Neither, mate. Geez," he said, rolling his eyes like I was the thickest person alive. "I'm paying with coin. What are you, thick?" For a second, I just stood there trying to process what he'd said. I mean, in all my years working here, I have heard plenty of weird responses, but this was a new one. Who in their right mind doesn't understand that coins count as cash? It genuinely took me a moment to piece together what he was getting at. He seemed to think that cash only referred to notes, folding money as some people call it, and that coins were somehow a completely separate form of payment. I don't know where he got that idea from, but it honestly boggled my mind. Still, I kept my cool, no point in escalating things. "All right then," I said, gesturing him toward the one machine that still had enough change to handle coins. "You can use this one here." He grunted something that I didn't catch and stomped off to finish his transaction, grumbling the whole time like I'd personally insulted his intelligence. I went back to managing the queue, but for the rest of the day, I couldn't help but shake my head at the encounter. I mean, sure, most people think of cash as paper money first, but it's not exactly rocket science to know that coins are part of cash too. You'd think by the time someone's an adult, they'd have sorted that out. At the end of the day, I chalked it up as just another odd story to add to my collection. 9 years in retail will give you plenty of those. I'd be calling him a dumb butt in the back of my mind just so I could continue my day and tell him, "Sir, coins are cash. You may now use register 3. Have a great day," and move along to the next customer. And our second story. Turns out the plumbing issue was a kid doing karate on my house. So my husband and I kept hearing a bang in the evening at random hours, between about 6 and 10 p.m. It would wake us up sometimes or get our dogs going crazy. We had no idea what it was. I even called out a plumber since we've had some plumbing issues in the past and didn't know what else it could be. Finally, the Ring camera caught something. A young boy, probably between 8 and 11, was running up and kicking our house, like hard. This bang was so loud I thought it was our trash cans knocking into the house or a bad plumbing issue, but a GD kid deciding to do karate kicks and outrun my Ring camera was not what I expected. Okay, so I decided to do a few things. put up a motion light, which I almost fell off a ladder doing and broke another light in the process. Between this and the plumber coming out, I'm in about $200 because of this effer. Second, I wrote a note and taped it to the glass. He seemed tall enough to read. The note said, "To the child kicking our door, we know who you are. We have you on camera every time. We told your parents we will contact the police next time. Please stop scaring our dogs." I'm bluffing because I want him to stop. I cannot figure out his motive except to cause chaos in my household, so I needed to try to scare him. So last 2 weeks, nothing. I figured my note and light worked and the effer was scared. I took the note down last night. Then tonight, bang, the loudest one yet. What the F? I go outside because I'm mad now and I see a children's mermaid kickball in my front yard. I'm keeping it. The effer kicked it into my car. I see no kids. I'm so angry I kick the ball into my fenced-in backyard and go back inside. About 30 minutes go by and I hear another bang. I look out the window and I see this little bee-turd running down the street laughing. I am furious. I'm about the size of Sydney Sweeney if she was also an Adam Sandler type woman. I'm wearing cute polka dot Victoria's Secret PJs and just did my everything shower with an at-home blowout. I'm in no mood. I push my husband out of the way and put on my running sneakers with no socks. I book it down the street and see the little crap stain run inside a house. I run up the driveway and kindly question some younger girls, his sisters, to find out where his parents were. They said his mom was in the backyard. I went back there and told her straight up, "Your son has been kicking my house for 2 months. I have it on video. He's scaring my dogs. Ask him to stop." She said, "Okay, and thank you." I said thank you and left. As I walked home, I see my husband running up to me because he didn't know where I went. I told him I handled it. Then, as if on cue, I hear the loud whining of what sounded like a young boy between 8 and 11 finally getting justice served. I've never met this kid in my life. I want to know why. Why did he target us? Did I wrong him, or was he just a random crazy kid? Sometimes life is chaos. Update. This crap is called the Door Kick Challenge on TikTok. Thank you to the comment who said their HOA mentioned it in their newsletter. For once, I don't have the urge to fistfight the HOA. Also, thank you everyone for the validation of my evening child chase down. After living here for a few years, defending my land from a tiny trespasser really transformed me into a homeowner rather than feeling like just a kid that owns a home. Sometimes the power of the internet community can be a beautiful thing. And our next story. Foreman's ego turned a simple job into a disaster. Many moons ago, I was just starting out in my electrical career. I joined a new-to-me company that was 40% into an elementary school project. I knew something was off within days, even though I was still a first-year apprentice. The foreman neglected to think ahead and was constantly scrambling to keep up with the work while trying to look like a superstar to the office/owner. I was assigned to pipe block walls with a journeyman, J-Man. He would lay out, cut, and install fittings, and I'd run around following the mason, stacking blocks. J-Man noticed that the bathroom flush-o-meters weren't on the prints for one floor. He brought it up to the foreman. It was 100% an extra and needed to be addressed. There were 2 ways to approach it. 1, do it, hide it, get the extra approved, and finish it with little to no trouble. 2, ignore it and end up snaking through hollow brick and chipping out. The foreman chose option 2. Months later, it's discovered, and I get to chip concrete in a finished space rather than during the earlier phase. It's tedious, awkward, and all around not a great job. I'm working alone on this as it's low voltage and I've helped wire the others. The foreman wants it done and done now. I pull the wires and get sent off to another dumpster fire created by this guy's inability to listen to his crew and lack of backbone. He sends in another greener apprentice to splice out the transformers. He has me terminate the motion-sensing flush valve starting on the toilets. Things go wrong. Nothing works. After the first 3 or 4, I tell him, "I need this to be done, so do it as I showed you. Just do as you're told." He wouldn't let me look at the other kids' work. I press on, wire the first faucet, and hear a flush. The second faucet, another flush. I go check the toilets. When I get close and back up, I hear the sinks running. I choose to press forward and keep my head down. Eventually, I find the foreman in front of the GC and the plumbing foreman. They ask if I'm done. Absolutely. I just have one last question that I think is a plumbing issue. Could you 3 come and check it out with me? Now, I know it's our problem, but the chance to have this guy get run over twice was too sweet. It was so bad that some things were operating sinks, toilets, and different rooms. The fallout was that I had a target on my back for the short time I was there. Both the company owner and foreman ended up leaving the trades a few years later. I'm now running my own work and actually appreciate how that foreman taught me how not to do things. And our last story. Neighbor built a house on our property. Our family owns 15 acres outside the city, mostly woods and meadows where we've gathered for generations. It's a quiet spot where we go to get away, grill, fish, let the kids run wild. The property's a clean rectangle, 525 feet wide and 1,200 feet deep. We don't go every weekend, but at least one of us is out there every month, just keeping an eye on things. At the start of this year, some guy bought the lot next to ours. We noticed trucks coming and going, but didn't think much of it. His place backs to ours behind a thick stand of trees, so you wouldn't see much without hiking out. We assumed he was clearing a little space for camping or maybe a hunting cabin. We were wrong. In May, my brother and I were walking the property line when we spotted it, a full barn-style house. Metal siding, big porch windows, the work, sitting right in our clearing. Not a few feet over the line, the whole damn thing was on our land. We stomped over and knocked, trying to keep our cool. The guy who answered, let's call him Carl, leaned against the door frame like he didn't have a care in the world. "You're aware you built on our land, right?" my brother said. Carl smirked. "Is that what you think? Looks fine from where I'm standing." I stared at him. "You didn't get a survey?" "Didn't need one. Fence line was good enough for me. Maybe you ought to check your paperwork." It wasn't just the words, it was the tone. Like we were the problem for questioning him. Like we were wasting his time. We told him we'd be getting a survey done immediately. His response? "Yeah, you do that," before shutting the door in our faces. The survey confirmed what we already knew. His house was planted fully on our land, with the property line starting 25 feet before his porch even began. We tried to talk to him again. He wouldn't open the door, wouldn't return calls. When we saw him outside, he'd turn his back and walk inside like we weren't worth acknowledging. So we got a lawyer involved. First letter, no response. Second letter with a formal demand and deadline, nothing. Not even a phone call. Like he thought if he ignored us long enough, we'd give up. We started digging deeper, and that's when the mess really came into focus. Carl hadn't pulled a single permit, not for the structure, not for utilities, not for anything. His septic? He'd tied into an ancient, too-small system that hadn't been touched in decades. And the kicker? His brother, who owns a local contracting business, was the one who helped him build it. They both knew better. They just didn't care. When it finally came to a hearing, Carl showed up late, dressed like he'd just rolled out of bed and tried to play the victim. "I thought the land was mine," he told the judge. "They're being unreasonable. It's not like I can just move the house." He had the nerve to act like we were the bad guys for wanting our land back. Our lawyer laid out everything. The survey, the deed, the photos, the timeline. The judge wasn't impressed with Carl's sob story. She ruled in our favor. Carl was ordered to vacate and remove the structure within 60 days or face escalating fines and further action, including potential demolition at his expense. She even warned him that the septic situation could land him in hot water with the county health department. Carl, of course, filed an appeal. Our attorney said it was just a delay tactic. The facts were too solid for him to win. While that drags on, Carl's been scrambling. We've heard he's looking into whether the house can even be moved or whether he's stuck tearing it down for scrap. Either way, it's his mess to clean up. This story serves as a reminder that while some people may try to take shortcuts or ignore boundaries, proper processes and patience will usually prevail. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.